Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Cherie. We're Technomadia. And you are joining one of our live stream video chat events. These are just a fun way for us to interact with people. Today is February 26th. It's approximately 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 2015. Yes. If that is the time and date on your calendar, then you're joining us live and you'll be able to interact with us and ask some questions towards the end of the video chat. If you'll please hold those questions for now, that'll make it a lot easier on our production assistant, Helene, to keep up with it. Today's chat, if you're joining us later on YouTube, obviously you can't ask questions interactively, so it just doesn't work that way to go back in time.
Google's working on that.
They're working on it, I'm sure. I am sure.
Tonight's topic is how to meet your peers.
Your RVing
peers out on the road.
Yes. This was prompted by an email we got from a reader. They're a younger couple that's considering hitting the road, and they're afraid that they wouldn't be able to find other people like them on the road. And I thought about writing a blog post, but we thought this would be a fun video chat. And when we got invited to stay at our current location, if you notice, this is not our RV. We are actually in a house at the moment.
Yeah, it has no wheels.
Headquarters.
We are at headquarters of ourvillage.com. It's a social network for RVers that we were involved with helping launch last year. So that was our major project this time last year. And Curtis Coleman is the founder and CEO of it, and he is here to join me. He'll talk a little bit about our village in this. But this isn't just about our village. It's about multiple ways of meeting your people on the road. What are some of the challenges? I mean, leaving a community behind when you hit the road is one of the big challenges.
I hit the road almost 9 years ago. You joined me about a year later, roughly-ish. And one of the hardest parts about hitting the road is you're leaving your daily family, friends, coworkers, whatever that daily interactions you had are no longer daily interactions. You're driving off into the sunset, and that is one of probably the hardest adjustments to make, is that those little routines, those little friendships, those little people you'd get together with on Friday night, they're gone. And how do you find that?
They're not gone. They change.
Their interactions, your patterns are gone.
Right. You might interact with them on Facebook or exchange an email every so often.
Right.
But you're no longer having those weekly dinners or monthly dinners, those catch-ups. You don't have that continuity of a relationship. And if you're a social being, and we are, you're probably going to want to be meeting like-minded people on the road. And it can be challenging at first. I mean, honestly, for the first about 2 years we're on the road, we had a hard time finding other people on the road to meet, especially other RVers. We'd meet a lot of people in the communities we went to.
We'd be guest stars in all these various communities that hop around the country, but we didn't know hardly anyone else who was like us.
Who was living on the road and working on the road.
And we would meet, older retired RVers, but they weren't quite like us. We had a really hard time connecting with other people who were kind of in the same adventure that we were also on the road.
Similar, not the same.
Yeah, similar.
And commuting on the road is different. Even when you do meet up with like-minded people, if you're visiting a town and you find a local community, you're going to be leaving it again. Right. And those new friends that you've made are now become long-distance friendships. And when you do meet other RVers, you're literally crossing in the night.
Right.
You might get together at the same campground for a couple nights, then you move on in different directions, and you might not see them for another year or two or for a couple months. And it's a different way of looking at community. And it is vibrant once you get out here and you start mingling in it. And it takes some effort and some...
but then once it starts to thrive, you have these connections that happen in multiple places. And it's just these friendships. You pick up the threads, and you start counting how many different states you've met somebody up, met another friend in or another couple in, as your RVs bounce into each other. Hopefully not literally.
Don't bounce your RVs into other people
Hopefully
literally.
not literally, but yes. It's like, hey, I think we've got some people, we're up to like over 20 states, a dozen states that we've just seen them in. And shared all these new experiences together.
So before you have to start managing 20 states with people, how do you meet them? How do you find your people on the road, especially if you're just starting out? Social media is obviously a natural. You're joining us via social media on a live video stream. This is one way that we reach you. Our goal in doing these and keeping the blog is hopefully that some of you will connect with us and say, hey, those are cool people I'd like to meet. And you'll write us when we're nearby and invite us to come over and say hi. Because we're introverts. We're not going to come knock on your door. Social media is a great way. So what was your analogy that you did?
So the way I look at it is on social media, to connect with people, you either have to be a bee or you have to be a flower. So if you're a bee, you're going out and you have to like go and connect with the people that are interesting to you. You've got to make the effort. You got to go and sniff their flower. And if you're a flower, well, you have to attract the bees that you want to have sniffing you.
Okay, so let's bring this back to social media. You either have to be a creator of content that people are going to be attracted to, or you need to be someone who is consuming and reading that content and doing the reaching out. Or a combination of both, which is what we do, is we do look at other bloggers and Instagram feeds and things like that and find our like-minded people. And we put a lot of effort into putting information out. Number one, we like to be helpful and help our peers get on the road, but it's really so that we have more people to meet on the road.
Yes.
That's our big goal.
Part of it, yes.
So some great places to look for people. Facebook RVing groups are prolific out there. There's a whole bunch of RVing groups. You have general ones on tips, on do-it-yourself RV renovations. The New RVers group is a group for kind of outside-the-box thinking RVers. There's Christian RVing groups. There's Families on the Road RVing groups, healthy eating ones. And they're all very active, and they're great places to interact with and meet people.
Yeah, so find the groups that you click with. Don't try to change a group into something that it's not. Be the bee. Find the flowers that are attractive to you and join and interact on those groups and dive in deep.
Yeah, and have fun with them and meet people. You find people that you find consistently chiming in on the same threads, and you have a similar vibe. Reach out to them and talk with them and meet them on the road. I'm gonna look at my notes.
Yes.
Keep it also when you're reading RV or blogs. Some of us produce long form content. You're reading blogs, interact with them, leave comments so people get to know you too in reverse. And if someone has posted something that jives with you, or you see they're heading your way, you might see an intersection or something happening, reach out to them, write them privately if that's your preferred style, invite them to meet up.
And often, a lot of times when you comment on blogs, you can leave links to your own social media pages and other people's. If you click on their names in a blog comment, it'll often take you to their homepage if they left that behind when they had a comment. So if you see other commenters that are interesting to you, chase after them. Go find out where they're hanging out and go comment where they're at.
We're not endorsing stalking, by the way.
Not hang out online where they're at. Don't hang out the coffee.
Yes. But also keep an eye out for meetups and invitations. Like when we know we're going to somewhere and we're going to be there, we might host a coffee meetup or a Q&A meetup or something like that. Keep an eye out for them and attend them. We recently were at a Convergence in Southern California in Borrego Springs that was organized pretty much over Instagram.
Yeah.
It was just people recognizing that a whole bunch of people were heading to the same place, and they invited themselves along. And
there was nothing official. There was no, here's the arrival date, here's where you sign up. It's like, hey, one person says I'm going to be at Borrego Springs, the next person says, the next person, and suddenly you've got a domino effect of cool people.
And suddenly you got a whole bunch of people meet up. And that's the photo for this this video chat that we've got up there is where that was taken at, was the Borrego Springs meetup. That seems like a lot of effort to you, and it can be. It can be to keep on top of all the Facebook groups, and you're interacting. That might be where you interact with your family and non-RVing stuff. Our Village is this fabulous social network that's coming together. We helped launch it this time last year, and it's designed specifically for meeting new people and keeping up with the friends that you meet on the road. It's a great place. It
is made for RVers, and it has the context of location, because RVers are bouncing around and moving. Our Village lets you see where the people you're connecting with are.
So if you check into your locations, your campground, things like that, you can see who else is in your campground, who's checked in, read their profile. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to invite Curtis to come on.
I'm going to bring my beer with me.
Okay.
Bring your beer, Curtis.
Sure.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm going to swap guys.
Hi.
This is Curtis Coleman.
Hi, everybody.
We've become good friends over the year and working together. We were introduced. We'll talk about how we introduced, because that's another method that we want to talk about. So what is this? You're wearing the shirt.
I'm wearing the shirt just for everybody. So first of all, I want to welcome all of you to our Village headquarters, which is a wonderful house on a lake in, where are we? In Arizona City, Arizona. So if you're in the Arizona area and you're on our Village, message me.
He is an RVer, but
I was a full-time RVer up until August, and I still consider myself one. But it turns out that the ironic part of launching a social network for RVers is you can't run one from an RV.
Well, you can't. It's just difficult.
It becomes very cumbersome. So I needed to land. We've got an amazing development team that I want to do a shout out to. Just an incredible team. Our administrative team, the development team are amazing. And So we get together under one roof. We've done that, and so that we can make the site better for everybody. So what I do want everybody to know is that our village is built by RVers for RVers. It's not, we don't come from a corporate entity, and it's really important. Trust on the internet is extremely important to all of us. It is to me, and so I want to let everybody know that you
So
do
what does
have
our
a home
village
there.
do?
So the whole idea of our village is in the RV world, the RV industry has been really wonderful in being able to help you find an RV and help you find an RV park. What we do is something very specific. We help people find each other. And so everything in our village is designed, and the architecture and is engineered so that you can have tools so that you can connect with people in a very easy and effortless way. So the first thing that you need to know is that when you do go onto our village, it's free service, so it doesn't cost you anything. We take your privacy very seriously. And when you go onto our village, you want to set your location, and you can set it to a town that you're in, or if you're in an RV park, you could say I'm in ABC RV Park. And then you can go into that parks page and click the number. There's a little round number that says how many people are in the park, and you can click that and see who else is in the park with you. The idea came from, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico at an RV park one night, and I walked out at 2 o'clock in the morning and thought, how come I can't see who else is in the park with me and do that online? So we built it, and it's been wonderful. We have, our membership has grown
16,000 and something.
16,000. Now we've grown over 50% in the last 90 days or so, which is unbelievable.
Getting a lot of traction. It's still technically in beta, but I think you're coming out.
That's coming off soon. I'm not going to give the date, but it's going to be very, very soon. And we've fixed, you know, we've got a couple little bugs there, but it's working really good. And what we know is that there are hundreds of RV parks across the country that have people checked in. And how you can find this, I want to tell you a little bit about the tools on our village. So by the way, it's our village, RVILLAGE.com. So it's not RV Village, it's our village. And it, you know, it's a little play on words, our village. And so that's how it's done. So when you go onto our village, there's a couple of buttons that are really important for being able to connect with people. And one of them is the Explore Members tab. And I think that's going to say Explore Maps soon. But when you click that button, you have three options on the left. You have your current location, your destination, or Route Me. And whichever one you choose, you can then search from anywhere from 25 miles up to 250 miles around you, or maybe it's a place that you're looking at going, or maybe it's along your route. And then you can click Members, and it'll show all the people along that route, or within that vicinity that you're in, or at the destination. And the important thing that I want to share with you is that there's another button there that says RV parks. And if you click that button, it's a blue button, and you check the RV parks, you're going to see two different colored flags, blue flags and green flags. The green flags are RV parks that actually have people on our village checked into them, and you can click that flag and see who's in the RV park. And then look at their profile, you can send them a message. What we found is that our village is a wonderful, wonderful and safe place to be. People are just delightful, as most RVers are.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Curtis.
You're welcome. Is that all the time I got? That's it.
We'll follow.
Okay,
We'll bring up some of the other
Love you
features.
guys. Bye. I'll drink my beer.
Yes.
Drink your beer, Curtis.
Special guest stars.
We love Curtis. He could easily talk for hours.
actually have done a full
We
hour
actually
video with him
have
once
done.
back when
We
he
did do a
launched.
full interview over, I think it was an hour and a half long interview we talked about.
and actually, probably at some point, we'll probably do it again.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
do
a-
a full dedicated Art Village session.
Yes, but it is a wonderful way to meet and connect with people. Instagram is becoming.
Instagram is
Amazingly
kind of fabulous.
So if you're not familiar with Instagram, you use your smartphone to take
an
pictures
instant little picture.
of your day, something that represents your day or what you're doing. You post it up there and you use a hashtag. Now, a hashtag, if you're not familiar with it, use the pound sign and a keyword. We use like pound
Boondocking.
or pound RV life, pound full-time RVing. And you use those to search and see other photos that are posted by people using that same hashtag. And that can introduce you to a lot of people. They also have a map on there that shows you where other people in your area have been posting photos, and that might tell you where there are other RVers that are meet up with you.
If you want it.
No, it's fine.
No, yeah. For a lot of people who are visual, Instagram is much more engaging for them than Facebook, and so there's a lot of people who hang out on Instagram, and that's where that's the only place they hang out.
Yeah. So if you're photography minded, you know, some RVers, they might be posting about the food they've cooked or the cool museums they're going to or whatever. So it's another way to get to know people.
And the one thing about Instagram is when you friend somebody, it's not necessarily that you're saying
Friends.
we're friends with them. It's kind of common Instagram thing is you follow people that you find interesting, and that's actually kind of a compliment. They see you're being followed. They don't assume you're stalking them in a bad way. They're like, oh, this person thinks my photos are cool. Yeah. And then maybe you'll start commenting on each other's photos, and maybe you'll say, hey, I see you posting photos from San Antonio. I'm going to be in San Antonio in a few weeks. What's good?
And by the way, we are on Instagram. There is Shri_Technomadia, and yours Chris_Technomadia. So you can follow our individual Instagrams there, and we are cross-posting them also to our Facebook page for those on occasion. So it's been a fun way to interact and keep in touch with people that we've met, so we can still keep kind of tabs on their journeys.
And for whatever reason, Airstream people seem to really love Instagram. The Airstream community is huge.
There's a lot of Airstream photos on Instagram. At least in our circles.
Yes.
Blogging. If you are inclined towards writing or sharing photos in more of a long form format.
What's a blog? We actually had that question come up. So maybe start with the basics. What's a blog?
That's a blog.
Yeah, what's a blog?
Oh gosh. A blog is where you can write articles. They can be journals about your day. They can be a review of a campground. They can
be your little website.
It's whatever you want to post.
Online journal.
It's a platform that's really easy to post content to. So you create a template. If you go to technomadia.com, that's a blog. Wheelingit.us, that's our friend Nina's blog. Gonewiththewinds.com, that's our friends Nikki and Jason's. There's a whole bunch of blogs out there. There's a whole bunch of RVers that are posting stuff from travel logs to tips and tricks on the road.
And that's a great way to share things in a much, much richer and more detailed way about your personality, about what you're into, than gets across in just little status update type things.
Yeah.
And so it's a great compliment for other things. You get the more interaction back and forth sometimes via social media type things, and then you get deeper, richer things with a blog. But only start a blog if you're going to keep it up.
Yeah. We did do a last, I think it was April, we did a video chat on RVing or blogging for RVers. If you want to go back and look in the archives, and talking about the pros and cons of blogging and some tips and tricks on that. So you can go look at that. But that's a great way to meet people. We love keeping up. We met by blogging.
Yes, we did.
So it's near and dear to our hearts, and we keep ours up mainly out of personal love. And we do have a combination of travel logs and helpful content. We love comments on there. YouTube has also become another great. You'll find a lot of full-time RVers and RVers in general posting on YouTube.
Some people do little video diaries. They'll just record 2 or 3 minutes of their day, put it up on YouTube, and they just start connecting. And some people who like to follow that sort of thing really click and develop communities and connections via YouTube.
So whether you choose to view YouTube or post to it or both, it can also be a great medium for meeting people and getting a kind of a...
You get a feel for their personality.
Yeah. In person. So meeting people, if you're not into social media, some ways to meet other RVers in person that are your like minds. I think the number one tip is go the places that you personally are attracted to.
Right.
If you're into the outdoors and hiking and kayaking and that sort of stuff, you might not be finding your like-minded people if you're going to RV resorts.
Or hanging out in the Walmart parking lots.
Go to campgrounds, state parks, national parks, go out boondocking. You're more likely to find like minds there. If you like bingo and social networks and dances and potluck dinners and things like that, go to an RV resort that kind of brings those sorts of communities together. The Escapees Parks are a great network for meeting people like that. If you want to meet mainly retired people, go to 55 plus up parks. If you're a family on the road, 55 up parks might not.
But you could find the parks that are having the family on the road gatherings and events.
Yeah.
And if there aren't gatherings and events that are quite suiting you, you can actually host your own gatherings.
Yeah, our village, that's one of the cool features of it, is you can go do a get-together on it. We've done this in a couple locations when we're feeling social. You put it out there. You can actually click a thing and say, invite people within 10 miles, 20 miles of me, and you get a notice out there. It's like, hey, we're going to have a happy hour and a campfire and...
music jam, whatever.
And you know what? People show up.
It's kind of weird that you can click a button and have 100 strangers show up.
This stuff didn't exist a year ago. It's pretty cool. You can also, if you have a social media presence, you can also announce it via that. We use multiple means of reaching people because, if we're going to put the effort to hosting, we want people to show up.
What else you got on the notes here?
If you see people in a campground that look interesting, They maybe.
Hey,
Ooh,
wow.
hey, you look interesting. If you see them out and about, go up and
Go
say hi.
knock on their door at
Do
9 in the
not.
morning.
No, do
8:30.
not. Do not
You
go
get them
knock.
on their breakfast. They're very sociable then.
No, do not just go knocking on the doors. Most RVers, they like their privacy and their time.
Yes.
We know we do.
Yes.
But if you see them out and about, do approach them, say hi.
And if you want to attract people, is set yourself up. If you want to meet your other campers and stuff, you don't want to go out approaching them. Hang out, set up your outside area, hang out in your chair, wave to people when they're walking by. Be approachable. Draw them in. Be the flower there.
And have things out there that express something about who you are.
To start the conversation.
We go to Burning Man and festivals and things like that. I like hula hooping. I'm a fire dancer. Well, you know what? I leave a hula hoop out on my RV. Some people think it's a really cool Wi-Fi antenna. We've had that question about 20 times, but it's really it's a kind of a calling card for other people that go to the types of festivals where hula hooping and fire dancing is common.
One of the calling cards that we can't turn off and can't hide is we have a vintage bus, and so that draws in people, and we have great vintage bus conversations. Sometimes we wish we could press a button and turn into a bounder just temporarily, so if we don't want to be quite a flower with that.
Can be kind of cloaking. Having a unique RV, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Having a unique RV, or sometimes people with your same style RV will come up in a campground and want to talk about the ins and outs of it. If you like flowers and planting, carry a couple flowers and plants with you and have them outside. If there's a symbol that identifies kind of a group or a subculture that you're involved with, if you're kind of an out-of-the-box free thinker, maybe having a flying spaghetti monster symbol on your RV might help attract people.
Yeah, people
if
spaghetti
religion is
monster.
important to you, having some Christian symbology out there might help. Buddhist, whatever.
Bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers. If politics is important to you, put something political on your statement. If you're a member of Escapees or FMCA or Good Sam or Village, have a bumper sticker on it that tells other people what groups you are involved with, and that's kind of like people look for that and look for it in others.
It's the conversation starters. It's these little things just help break that ice.
Let's see, I think that does it. We have one more little section. We're going to go ahead and say, if you've got questions for us, it can be about social RVing and meeting people or anything else about RVing, life on the road and things like that. Helene is going to start queuing up those questions for us now. So go ahead and start typing those questions into the chat box. It's over there on the browser side to the right of the video chat. It might just say chat with 102 other people. Just click in there and you can type in your questions in there, and then we'll start answering those as soon as we wrap up the next section. And then, our favorite for meeting people is not knocking on doors.
No, it's the favorite way for meeting people is when they find us.
Oh yes, finding people, but also just trusting in serendipity.
Oh yes,
and following serendipity's clues.
That's how we found Helene.
That's how we found Curtis.
Serendipity is for the win.
So Helene, who is rapidly taking down questions for us right now, so hopefully she'll pop on camera here real quick with us. We actually went to a conference a few years ago and met her brother at a conference, and he invited us down to driveway surf with them. And this is his sister, who we really connected with. And this is Helene. We've known her, I think it was 2009?
Yeah, I think it was around then.
Yeah, so we went and visited her family on their place in Southern California.
Her brother's like, we got a little bit of land down in Southern California. I think your camper will fit.
So we just ended up really connecting with Helene, and she was itching to hit the road, and she just got an RV.
Yes,
and we just started, she just the other night wrote us and said, hey, I think I can meet you. Where are you at? And so we've reconnected, and we've met her all around the country. And so she's on the road now.
Yeah, she's actually couch surfed in our RV in the past, too.
Yes.
So, and now she's got one of her own.
Yes. Yeah, you were my inspiration.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it was serendipity that brought us to her, and we've just formed a lifelong connection, and we just love her. Okay, now go get back to work.
Questions.
Then, people will introduce you to other people that they've met on the road that they think are cool. That's how we met Curtis. Yeah. Is someone we met on the road was someone that he knew. We're both kind of in the Burning Man culture. We kind of had some common friends. And this guy said, oh, hey, you both drive buses and you're friends of mine. That must mean something. So he made an introduction.
And it was years later that it actually paid off and we actually met in person. But that introduction happened and just sat there in the background and eventually percolated to the surface.
Yeah, and led to a friendship that, and then led to us working together
Working on our village.
to get our village out there to the world. So,
And so the ultimate way to earn karma is to connect other people unselfishly. So if you know two people coming together, put them together, make the connection. It'll be paid off in the future.
yeah. Yeah, so we keep tabs on a lot of our RVing, blogging, social media engaged friends, and when we see that, I just saw that Len and Clark are here, and you know what, our friends over here, they're also coming in the area, you know what, they should meet up, and I'll send out an introduction to both of them, and have them meet up, and they have a great time, and we just trust that sort of karma comes back to us.
And don't let yourself be too envious of all the good times they're having then, because when
Without
they're posting
you.
about it, you're sitting somewhere else. But no, enjoy, have that compersion for
Yes.
your friends connecting. And
Yes. So one final note about meeting people on the road is keep in mind that the interactions are short term. You're going to meet amazing people. I mean, the people that are drawn to the road, you already have something in common. You're drawn to the wanderlust, to the adventure, to the location independence. And when you meet up with them in person, it's going to be maybe for a couple nights. It might just be one happy hour. You're going to connect. Concentrate on the positives, and you'll much more enjoy the experience. Everyone has something wonderful about them. And if you really do connect with them, stay in touch. Trade contact information.
track each other on maps.
Friend each other on our village. When you friend people on our village, that map that Curtis was talking about, you can go in there and
You guys little private maps.
you can go in there and just see your friends that you friended on our village and just see where they're at. I go in and check every so often and see where all my friends are, and we'll route out of our way to go meet people that we've met in the past and that we really enjoyed. There's also special interest groups on there, so there's 1,000 groups on there now.
And there's live tracking things too, like Apple's Friend Finder and stuff. So if the people you really want to know exactly where you are every day, you could just swap locations that way.
Yeah, some people create private groups in our village or Facebook, so that they have these connections and they keep in touch. And then that way where people are going. You converge. Nothing sucks worse than seeing your friend literally pass you in the opposite direction down the
And it
highway
has happened to us.
because you have no clue that you're both in the same area of the country, and you can help prevent that with keeping in touch with them. So.
The time for questions.
And when you do meet people, plan rendezvous with them. Caravanning is a great way. That's when you kind of we did one with our friends Nina and Paul from
we were
Oregon.
basically together for 4 months.
For 4 or 5 months, we just agreed that we wanted to spend time together, and we just had a little roaming community. We've been doing that with our friends Forrest and Mary for about the last year.
Just bouncing in and
Just
out
by
of each other's
keeping
presence.
touch,
Yeah.
we just intentionally converge for a week or two, and then go our separate ways, do our own thing, come back, and it's wonderful when you have this continuity of community and the mobility on the road. It is possible. It can happen. So, Helene, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do.
Woohoo.
Okay. Our first one comes from John, and he says he'd like you to maybe mention some of the tools you use for blogging, and also maybe mention some key tools people can use, like LiveJournal, WordPress, Blogger, YouTube, things that would make that easier.
Okay, so
Blogging tools.
So blogging tools. We use WordPress. Some people use Blogger.
Yeah, so
Blogspot.
there's if you want to run your own blog and control the look and feel of the entire website, you can get really fancy, or you can just go with the services that just basically you have to answer 3 questions to sign up, and then just start writing and loading.
It really
photos.
depends upon your intent with the blog.
And how much effort you want to put
Do you
into
want to
it.
monetize it? Do you want to self-host it and keep on the maintenance? Do you want to let someone else do it? Do you want it free? Are you willing to put money into it? Do you want to grow your traffic? Are you trying to become a professional blogger? Monetize it.
So some
Go
of the
look at
basics are like WordPress.com or Blogger.com. But we did a whole video, so that's where you should go.
Yeah, go look at the, in fact, if you go to technomatty.com/blogging for RVers, I believe I still have a special page set up for it. You can go view the archive, and we went over a lot of details on
We
that.
even had a special guest on that one.
Yes,
too.
we actually
Like
had
web developer.
a WordPress expert on there with us.
Awesome. All right. Next question comes from Jammin' Along.
Ooh.
And Jammin' Along asks, how do you manage having sort of separate emails, separate ones for Chris, Cherie, Technomadia, with all the different logins?
Well, okay, so yeah, we have
So separate. How do you manage separate email addresses?
Well, we each have our own separate addresses, and then we have a joint address that goes to both of us, and we've set actually most of it is all set up through Gmail, and or actually we're using Fastmail fm.now to just route our email and stuff. But if you don't need to get too fancy with your emails, just set up multiple Gmail addresses and forwards. They make it really easy.
Yeah. We probably have about 40 email addresses
Yes, that's
between.
true. Even our cat gets her own email.
You can write Kiki at technomadia.com. She does occasionally answer them. Next question.
All right, our next question comes from Kate. And then we should ask for potentially more questions.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
fine.
Keep bringing the questions out.
Yes, keep bringing questions. So Kate asks, when is the next New RVers meetup? I don't know if you guys.
Okay, so when is the next New RVers meetup? So, New RVers is a very informal social group,
Yes.
and most of us are working on the road. And hosting a formal meetup takes work that most of us don't
There
have.
hasn't been a formal meetup
Since
the
2010.
second one. Yes, but there have been
and-
several informal
And the
ones.
group's really gotten too large. It would kind of have to be a rally, and you get into insurance stuff. You have to have insurance for events and things like that. And New RVers is a very casual, informal. It's not even a business. So I don't think that Kevin's gonna host another one.
I don't think he has any intention, but they're just hanging out in the New RVer group, and then people just, you, Kate, you can have a New RVer rally. Just post
Just
in
go
the...
to New RVers and post, hey, I'm here. I'd love other company. Go on our
Yeah.
village and put it out there.
Uh-huh.
And stay tuned for something new that we're about to announce in a couple weeks. Do we have any other questions?
Yes.
Keep asking them.
Hey, well, Bob asked a quick one. I hope it says, "Are you going to Sturgis?"
Sturgis, that's with the motorcycle
Well,
thingies,
well,
right?
it said he spelled it S-D-T and then S-D-T-U-R-G-I-S. So I'm
Yeah,
assuming that's
Sturgis.
but
Probably not. We're not motorcycle people, and we
We've
don't
driven
like,
through Sturgis, and it looks like a neat town. Actually, I'd like to go in the off season and do some
Yeah, but-
some of the stuff there.
but,
But we're not the motorcycle. That's
yeah.
not our mecca.
There was another question on here which I caught, which was, how do you handle all of your logins to all these services? Do you use the same login or a separate one?
No. We use a password manager. We use one called 1Password. There's several out there that we have a different password and login for every single site. That's one of the most important internet security rules you can have. And because it's impossible to remember a different login for every single site, you need to use a tool like a password manager.
Yep. So LastPass and OnePass are kind of the two top-rated ones.
Yep.
If you look on Nina's blog, wheelingit.us, she did a kind of a review at her choice of going LastPass. She did a great job of that. We use OnePass, and it syncs to all of our mobile devices, so our iPads and iPhones, and as well as our desktop. So we manage all our passwords in one place that way.
Okay, and then let's see. I've got. What about using Squarespace for a blog? That's a question.
I've heard their advertisements. I think I remember checking out their service. It lets you do a really visual, fancy. I think they're mostly catered to small businesses, but it probably could work for a blog. I've never run across a blogger using Squarespace for blogging, but I think they support the feature. I know businesses that use it.
Yeah. We haven't used it ourselves, but
Yeah.
It's more important that you have yourself out there in a format that you're comfortable posting to and that you'll keep up with than it is necessarily the back end that you're doing it on.
Right. Find what works for you.
Right. Next, Edward, I think he's new to the group, is asking, you have a vintage bus, and he wants to know more about it. What is it?
Okay, yes, we do have a vintage bus.
That's 1961.
It's a 1961 GM 4106. It was a service bus, kind of the style that was run by Greyhound in the 60s, and it was a service bus up until 1985, and it was converted to an RV, and we've had it for nearly 4 years.
It's coming up 4 years soon.
And you can read the full history of it. You can get a video tour of it and see all the projects we've done on it, all of our cost logs on maintaining it and improving it, making it our high-tech ideal home on wheels at technomadia.com/Zephyr. That is
Zephyr is what we named the bus.
And if you forget the name, if you just go to the About Us menu on our blog, there's a tour of the bus link.
Yep.
All right. Next question. Rob and Glow ask, how or why did you two decide on this lifestyle?
Oh, that's kind of goes way back, but so it's been almost 9 years for me, but it's something I always wanted to do when I was, I guess I first had the idea sink into my head way back when I was little. I wanted to live on the road, and when the opportunity came, I basically evicted myself from my place in San Francisco and made it happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were inspired by Steve Roberts, who is the original Technomad.
He actually coined the word. Yes.
And you befriended him in college and kind of got inspired by, he used to have a really tricked out bicycle that he rode in the 80s.
Really tricked out bicycle.
That's an understatement of the century.
It's like saying the space shuttle's a really tricked out airplane. It's, yeah.
So go look up Steve Roberts and the microship. But you were inspired by that, and that kind of
because he had the idea of, like, I always wanted to live on the road and travel. I'd draw pictures when I was little of, like, my ultimate flying Zeppelin house and stuff. But he had the idea, and he wrote this book called Computing Across America, which I think you could still find.
He's rewriting it right now.
Yeah, he's actually rewriting it. But the idea was that thanks to technology, you can take it with you. You can still be connected to friends and family, and you could still work and make a living on the road while being connected. And he went out to prove this on a bicycle with mid-1980s era vintage technology and modems and ham radios. And I mean, his bicycle is an amazing piece of technological art, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier. But just the idea of like, oh, tech makes it possible that you don't have to give anything up.
Right. So Technomadia is obviously in homage to Steve. He calls himself now the Paleo Technomad, and he calls us the Technomadlings. Some of us younger folks hitting the road. When he did it, he couldn't go and ask people how to create stuff. He had to create it himself. He had a Unix cycle.
Yes. He actually carried around a Unix machine in his backpack just so he could make the pun. Yeah. He had a Unix cycle.
Yes.
It was
and then Chris hit the road solo in 2006, and then we met online on a Prius forum. Yeah. Yes, the hybrid car.
On LiveJournal, which is
LiveJournal.
An online blogging platform
we were both social bloggers back then. And I was already working from home, running a software development business, and I was doing a lot of personal travel and still working my work hours when I was on travel visiting friends across the country. So when I met him and we really connected and knew that we were destined to be life mates, it was pretty easy for me to ditch my stationary house and just have one under wheels. I was already tethering off a smartphone on my travels, so it just made sense.
9 years later, here we are.
Yeah, I've always loved travel. I've always done lots of travel, and it just is kind of a natural evolution for me.
Awesome. All right, next is from Denon Weaver. How do you deal with mean people on social media?
How do you deal with mean people on social media?
Sheree throws things and threatens to delete the blog, and sometimes...
it is tough.
Yes.
It is
it is actually one of the hardest things is when you're out there and the troll effect happens.
Yeah, I mean... 99% of our interactions are completely positive. I would say the other 0.5% of the 1% remaining are usually just misunderstandings. Yes. Not everyone communicates the same way online that they do in person, and you have to be the filter for that sometimes of saying, hey, this person didn't mean this to be an attack. They're just bringing up a point.
And sometimes you're just in the wrong, you wake up in a bad mood, and then the first comment you get of the day might be somebody asking something really tersely, and you take it the wrong way, and it's very hard sometimes to deal with people online because a lot of people online don't realize the people they're talking to are actual other humans who have
emotions and have good days and bad days.
Yes.
And then there are actual trolls out there
who intentionally try to wreak pain.
When we put this up on YouTube, I know that we'll probably get 3 or 4 troll comments. There are people who actively, whether jealousy, envy, or whatever, will actively try to bring you down.
Or just for their own joy of making people uncomfortable or upset. Trolls are really, I think, total pathological in some ways. And yeah, we've had people tell us to drive our ugly faces off a stinking bus through a cliff and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like people get cruel sometimes and it really hurts.
Yeah, and they're personal attacks. And when you're a personal blogger, which we consider ourselves, I mean, this is personal. We're not here pitching you on business or anything like that. We're here sharing personally, and when people say mean things, it's hard to not take it personally.
And sometimes actually the things that I think people mean as in a good way, but actually hurts the most is when they come back with the lighting wasn't so great on your video, and you really should put more time and effort into production. And we're like, this is our spare time gift fun thing we're doing. And when you start criticizing
the gift,
that is like, it's like your niece gives you a present and you just like say, well, gosh, that's not what I want. And this is a piece of crap. And that's just going to break somebody's little heart. And that's the same thing when you try and criticize the production quality of what we're doing here. We're doing this for fun and as a gift.
Okay, fun. I apologize for writing that.
So no complaining about the lighting or the audio being out of sync or any of that without, really wrapping it up in a positive wrapper first.
Yes.
All right, and then let's see. Jerry asked, "What are the dates you're going to be speaking in Austin?"
We're not
Houston.
Houston.
Tucson.
Maybe
okay,
Tucson.
write that down.
Okay.
Tucson.
Speaking.
Or maybe
get together too.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we are heading. Our next major stop is Tucson for the 55th annual Escapade, which is the rally of the Escapees RVing Club. and they've invited us to speak. We are speaking on Wednesday, March 11th. We have 3 different topics that we're speaking on. One is on working on the road. One is on technology and travel, so basically the high-tech nomad. And another one's on social media, so it'll be similar to this video chat. And then there'll also be a happy hour that afternoon. That Wednesday is also free community day. So day passes that day are free, so you can come in and attend our events. Coincidence? Maybe.
No.
If you are attending the Escapade, I think our village meetup is on Thursday?
I think it's Thursday at 4 o'clock, and we're having a big meetup. We're gonna have lots of people come, and we've got big announcements that we're gonna make, and it's just gonna be a great fun.
Cool. So our village will also be having a meetup there.
So Escapade Tucson soon. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that's the official event dates are March 8th through 13th, and I believe there is still room if you want to come attend the whole thing. I think they still have boondocking space available if you want to get a reservation in. You can do that on the Escapees website.
All right. Andrea asks, what do you do about dental, tooth cleaning, and general physical checkups, and etc.?
I brush. It's
You go to doctors, you see dentists. That is actually a very complex topic. And back in November, Nina Wheeling and I actually got together and we did a video chat just on healthcare on the road. So I would recommend going and looking at that archive.
It's a whole
because it's a lot of content and more than I can try to squeeze in a minute here. So go look at that archive. I also go to technomadia.com/healthcare and read our entire series on healthcare on the road. And the video is also linked within that article.
Matthew has questions about full timing with dogs. He has 2 large dogs and is considering a purchase of a larger RV. Just wanted to know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, lots of people full time with dogs.
We're ruled by a cat. So we're not the best people to talk to about life with dogs, but tons of RVers do it.
Yeah, Curtis full time with Augie.
Augie is a sweet, sweet dog. Augie is actually out redecorating Curtis's RV right now.
So I mean, RVing with dogs, we don't have personal experience with it to share, but there are tons of RVers out there that do.
And Nina and Paul of Wheeling It. Their life revolves around their love for their dog Polly. And
they don't go to parks that don't allow dogs on the hiking trails just because they want to involve Polly in their life. You just have considerations. Dogs need more attention than cats. We like that we can leave for an entire day and the cat just naps. Dogs, they need to be let out and things like that. So
on the other hand, dogs are really great to be socially engaging because they get you out walking. They get you other dog people always talk to each other. When we're walking our cat, we get a lot of questions and interactions as well, but we tend not to make it nearly so far. We might go for a walk and get 300 feet. So
our cats don't go on long walks.
Yes.
Dogs do. Dogs are great companions. They can also be part of your security system. So.
All right. Tink asks, do you experience that you connect with more people your own age, or does it really matter? Age?
Do you connect with people our own age? We meet people of all sorts of ages. We try to not look at the age and look at the person. We have friends in all sorts of age groups.
Yeah, we know other RVing friends who range from in their 20s to in their 70s, 80s probably.
Some of our dearest friends are in their 60s. We've got dear friends in our age category. We're both early 40s. We've been on the road since we're 33.
Yep.
But we connect. I mean, you limit your pool so much if you isolate only to connecting with people.
There's usually something that you could find to connect with, and you'll be surprised actually. Some of the people that you don't think, when you're living in a city and stuff, you tend to have a very homogenous social circle sometimes. When you're out on the road, it's like take the opportunity to broaden your horizons, and you'll find so many interesting areas of overlap, and you'll be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. We find, when we connect with someone who is old enough to be our parents, wait a minute, they're like us 30 years from now. Same mindset.
You look at your parents differently, don't you?
Yeah, it actually does. Yeah.
It does. I mean, my parents, I've always been very close with my parents and my friendships with my parents. And, don't discriminate on age. It'll keep you from connecting, having some really marvelous friendships.
All right. Next question is from RV Daily Life. Any chance you're going to be in Fort Collins, Colorado this summer?
Some possibility. We have not made our summer plans. We're intentionally not thinking beyond about April right now.
Yeah, we've got probably hop through St. Louis in late April, early May. But after that, we might head west, we might head east, we might head north.
Yeah,
we probably won't head south.
Yeah, we've never RV'd up in the Northeast, so we're considering Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont.
And we've barely RV'd in Colorado.
So Colorado's on our list. So we don't know. We are going to follow serendipity and see where it calls us.
Yep.
We've had a very intense year with a lot of work projects, so we're hoping that we can.
Yes. Yeah, after the escapade, we get to breathe a little bit, and hopefully.
Yes. No more projects for a while.
All right, our next couple of questions are about alcohol. Woo!
Ooh,
Okay,
cheers.
first, Jason asked, what is the best wine yet?
Oh gosh,
Bought that box stuff last night.
The box. Our favorite is the Boda
We're
Box.
Boda Box fans.
We love Boda Box. It's a very high quality boxed wine.
It strikes a great balance. It's a lot of quality in a small box.
Yeah, so you get 4 bottles of wine in a box. You don't have to worry about glass breaking in your RV.
You get a travel pillow inside.
When you're done, if you blow into the input, it creates a travel pillow. So it's multifunctional. So we like that. I mean, we enjoy a wide variety of wines. We tend to avoid answering questions about the best because the best
for us, the best is the variety pack.
Yes.
All of the above.
So.
Awesome. Next question is, where in the world or where can I find absinthe in Texas? From Kevin.
Oh, Kev, coming in from Cozumel, defector from RVs. Kevin is the founder of New RVers, and we had a discussion on New RVers about you.
Well, gosh. So yes, New RVers is got a problem because it's NU RVers, but a lot of people join the group thinking it's NEW RVers, and they ask the really basic question. So today somebody was asking about how do they get their mail on the road, and that's not the group for that. That's a group for the questions about interesting things. And so it turned into, how do you get absinthe in Texas? Was a much more appropriate New RVers question. And we're going back and forth on this. And actually, I got a lot of good suggestions because I want to learn how to make a Sazerac as good
as
Carrie did. Because one of the other younger RVers we met on the road introduced us to the joys of Sazerac, which requires good absinthe. So that is one of my goals in Texas, to make a Sazerac.
Texas?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a good goal to have.
Yes, maybe we'll do it on video. Yes, that'll be a future video. We'll do Sazerac in Texas absinthe for Kevin.
Robin Glow, of course, asked, beer, Chris, where's your wine?
This is Stone IPA.
It's good.
Which actually goes back to meeting Helene, and some of our very first meetings were over good beer in Southern California. So Stone IPA was actually in
Stone Brewery together. And,
although I couldn't drink any, but I still love it.
No, this was
before.
This is back before.
Back when you did drink beer.
This is before we both went gluten free.
Right.
Oh yes.
So
oh my goodness.
I mean, don't you remember the homebrew beer?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yes.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
I got photos. I could share them with all these people.
All right. We have another question here from KB, who's asking, when will the 2015 mobile internet book be ready?
It is ready. So yes, we just spent the last month rewriting the mobile internet handbook for 2015. It is ready. It was announced on the blog about a week ago. If you go to rvmobileinternet.com, you can pick up your copy. We actually have it on sale. The ebook versions are on sale through the end of this month, end of February, for just
a few more days. Yeah.
Just $6.99. You can go snag a copy in PDF, Kindle, or iBooks. Or if you prefer the print edition, it is available for $16.99. The prices will be going up to the normal $9.99 and $19.99 on March 1st. We did discount it so that those who bought the 2014 can get an upgrade.
Don't feel forced to get an upgrade. This is not a huge rewrite like between 2013 and 14, but there's still a lot of good new stuff in there.
Yes, we refreshed everything, like, Melanicom is no longer an option and things like that. But yes, the new book is available. And our mobile internet aficionados group, we now are nearing signing on our 500th paid member, which just blows my mind away.
Join.
But
the site has been great.
It's been great. We've got Q&A forums. We issue more in-depth content there. You get advertising free on the mobile internet site.
We do exclusive reviews, all sorts of good stuff.
And it's the resource. If you depend on mobile internet for your RVing lifestyle, that's why we created it. It's the place where we can keep on top of the news and the information and help advise people through it. So the memberships are available, and they now include a free copy of the book.
Right.
So,
question from Richard. He's asking, which wireless job should one go into that would be easiest to find work from, like coding, programming, web design?
Oh gosh, so what is the easiest job to do? So our opinion on jobs, we are not career counselors. You have to follow your own heart and your own skill sets. You can do anything you want to do.
We know people making a living doing almost anything you
there
can
is
imagine.
there is no
on the
job
road.
that is easiest. App development, writing content is easy for us because it's a passion of ours. It's
Easy.
okay, not easy, but
Okay.
you know,
Yes, it's
harness your own skill sets. Look at what you like to do. What are your passions? What are you going to wake up in the morning and feel inspired to get done while you're looking at an amazing view instead of getting out there and hiking? Only you can determine that.
and if you want to keep it easy and not have to think about it a lot, then you just fall back to the basic work camper cycle of, if you do Amazon pack boxes in the winter, you can do the sugar beet harvest, and you can do work at a theme park, and just kind of like keep rotating through the basic work camper jobs and make enough to stay on the road. So I mean, that's kind of the basic simple fallback. Doesn't require any particular skills or experience, just a lot of patience to put up with drudgery.
But if you go to technomatty.com/income, we actually list 70 different mobile income ideas, and we talk a lot about self-employment versus remote work, entrepreneurship, or doing work camping, and some of the trade-offs for each. So go read that article and give you a lot of our foundation on how we think about working on the road.
Yeah.
Next comes from Lay, special tips for singles on the road. Any?
Well, I've never been single on the road.
Post
in Prius forums, and you'll end up with an awesome redhead like this, and yeah, that worked for me.
Without giving a plug for our village, there are 900 groups, and if you go there, you can find, there are many things that we mentioned today. You can, like pets, you can go into the group and you can actually connect with people that are interested in
I think
pets.
there's a singles on the road group
There's
on our
singles
village.
on
Yeah,
the
there's a
road.
couple of them actually.
There's solos, and our village, if you go into the group section and then click browse groups and then search, just put in the words that you're looking for, and you'll be able to connect right with
people.
other people.
You know, there are like the Wandering Individuals Network and things like that. I mean, it depends. Are you want to be solo? Do you want to stay solo? Or are you looking to actively date? I mean, those are two different.
I wasn't looking to date.
Yeah. Maybe you stay.
Cupid.
Yeah, you can go on OkCupid, Match.com. You can meet up with locals. Just keep in mind.
If you are looking to date, actually, places like OkCupid is a great way to come to town. You're the interesting new thing, and suddenly you're the interesting person that people want to meet with. It's it's actually kind of useful to be
just
single
keep
on the
in
road.
mind that if forming long-term relationships on the road can be difficult. I mean, you got to have someone who either wants to move on with you,
or who wants a temporary part-time far apart thing,
or you want to settle down for a bit and harvest the relationship. Now, if you want to stay solo and date on the road, I mean, that's entirely possible, or not date on the road. For a lot of people, that's kind of a journey Helene's on right now, is self-discovery, is staying
you can date
intentionally.
yourself on the road.
Yeah. It all depends on what you want to do.
All right. Jerry asks, how is the experiment with solar panels going? Will there be an update video soon?
I've
Not a
almost
video.
got a post. We'll probably do another video at some point, but it is not in the near term. But we've got a post coming up about air conditioning on solar coming up later this week, I think.
Well, whenever you finish it.
I thought you said you wanted it Saturday.
Well, you got to finish it.
Well, it's done. The writing's done. So yeah, there'll be a post very soon on air conditioning on solar. The next in our solar series are solar experiments. We've been off grid essentially until just yesterday,
Since
day before
December.
yesterday.
We're not experimenting with solar anymore. We are living on solar. We still do have the flexible panels.
Yes.
We are testing them head to head, different manufacturers. We won't be sharing those results until we have some long-term data.
We will probably share a little update at some point, but not
the
super soon.
solar project is a side hobby project. We're not being paid by anybody. It takes a lot of effort to do the project, and it kind of comes as it comes. Go to technomadia.com/solar, and as Chris is in the mood to write, he only writes about one article a month. So
But they're big.
Well,
wait, no. When you factor in RV Mobile Internet,
Yes.
I write a lot.
Yes, he's focusing more on a lot of the mobile internet stuff. I do kind of the 2 or 3 blog posts a week on Technomadia. So you kind of got to wait for him, because I'll talk about solar from the practical side, but not the techie side.
Right.
So,
But it's going great. Love it.
Awesome. So George brings up, have you seen the new Tesla battery banks?
Well, I mean, Oh, the swappable ones or the house ones? He probably means the ones for the houses. And yeah, actually, I was going to try and I always tweet to Elon Musk. He's my Twitter buddy, but he never replies. I suggested he do electric RVs. I suggested he makes flat towable Teslas, and now he's got these house-sized battery banks that he's going to be working on, and they'd be perfect for RVs. But he never responds to my tweets, so. I know. I would love some of Tesla tech in an RV, and that would be awesome. If you know Elon, tell him to call me.
Cool. Do we have a lot more questions left?
You've got 2 more right now.
Okay, so we'll take the last 2 questions because we are going on an hour, and that's about as long as I can.
Not fidget.
Not fidget, and my voice is going. So.
All right, so 2 by RV asks, do you find it necessary to book campgrounds in advance, or you just find them along the route and drop in?
Yeah, we mix it up.
Yeah, but usually we don't like too far in advance.
Yeah, we don't, unless we know we need to be somewhere, like we're going to the documentary debut of the Wireless Generation, which is about digital nomads, and we're in it in Austin in early April, and we wanted to make sure that we had a spot, so we did pre-book for that. Most of the time we wing it, though.
Usually winging it works out really well, and you can get last-minute cancellations and stuff if you're trying to get a popular place. So yeah, we're not long-term schedule-y planners. We like the flexibility.
All right, last question from Janet. Average rate you've seen at night for a night at a campsite?
There is no average. Average rate for a campsite. It goes all over the map. It depends upon, are you a member of like Passport America or Thousand Trails? I mean, you can get cheap.
Those people have like $3 and $5 nights.
Yeah.
We use Passport America, and we just used it here the other night for a laundry room with a hot tub for $15.
You can find nightly rates are the most expensive option in most places. You get the cheaper rates if you go weekly or monthly at most private RV campgrounds. We like public campgrounds. We've been doing a lot of boondocking. We've been paying $0 as our average lately in big open lands. If you go to like state parks and campgrounds, they vary all over the map depending on what state park system is running them. Usually somewhere between $15 to $30, $35 a night. You're probably not going to get a discount in most states on those, and you probably have a 2-week limit. If you go to fancy RV resorts, you can be paying upwards of $60, $70, $80 per night. It really just shop around, find what fits your budget, find what style you like.
Yeah, you have so much control over it. One of the great things about RVing is that you can choose your cost of living, and almost anything is possible.
Last year, we mixed up quite a bit. We did like a total, I think, 3 monthly stays, and then we did a lot of state parks. We did a combination of campgrounds. We did a little boondocking. In the end of the year, our average came out to $13 per night, and that was without having to join like 1,000 Trails or anything like that. And that kept a lot of variety. We like variety and stuff like that. So, we know people who average $800 or $900 a month and think that's cheap. It's cheaper than what probably they're paying on their mortgage. We know other people who try to average under $5 a night. By doing lots of boondocking
or less,
or something like that.
We know people who pride themselves on never having paid for camping and been on the road for years. So.
You can do it in any income, any spending that you want. It's really your style.
Yep.
So, okay.
I think that's a good hour. Yes.
All right.
Thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us. We do these about once a month when we have time and bandwidth. You can go to technomadia.com/video to kind of see what our next schedule is. You can sign up for our email announce list to be notified when we do these. We do these for free. They are a gift.
If you want to gift us back, you can virtually buy us a bottle of wine, or in person, give us a bottle of wine.
Yes, there is a
or
absinthe if you want to up the bar.
Yes,
there's absinthe. There is a donate or a leave a tip button on the bottom left-hand corner of every page on the blog at
TechnoMadia. I think YouTube even allows that now, right?
And we just implemented on YouTube a support this channel on our channel page. If you want to shoot us a bottle of wine virtually, we promise it'll go to a very good cause. We do appreciate them. We don't expect the donations and tips, but they definitely do help.
They make us do happy dances.
They definitely keep us inspired to keep coming back and sharing. And doing these video chats, and we hope you found this helpful and useful.
And we hope to see you out on the road. Like, if you see us coming your way, let us know. That's
Invite
why
us
we do this. We're flowers, so come be your bees, come to our flowers, and we'll see you soon.
So if you're coming to Escapade, we'll see you very soon.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. See you next.